right, the day is finally here. It is Tuesday. I'm excited. So today we are going to be, it's Triple T Day. It's 10 Toes Tuesday. For you guys who just are joining in, 10 Toes Tuesday is a new series that I started. It's gonna deal with manhood, some stuff that I've gone through in my life. It's been hard, but it's made me the man that I am. A lot of it, not all of it was my fault. But this particular story right here, this was my fault. This will happen every Tuesday. Every Tuesday will be a new story. I don't know how long they'll run. It's just going to go until I finish the story. Stick around because we'll have what's coming next week. I'll give you a choice. I'll give you a choice of what's going to happen next week. So put me in the comments. Put something in the comments. Remember, these videos for the next 30 days, at least, and probably until I have more time, are going to be unedited, one take. I'm not taking anything out. So what you see when I push that button is what you're getting. After 30 days, then I'll start probably doing a little edits, but I'm enjoying this. No editing, no cutouts, just raw footage. So let's get into this story. This story has to do with my dad. So if you guys remember from a few days ago, I had told you that my dad is a Vietnam vet. And he is what you call, if you don't know, some of you youngsters, he was a combat vet and he was a medic. And when he got back, as if the story was told to me, he slept out in the yard under a tree for about 4 to 6 months. And I could be off on the 4 to 6 months. It could have been 3 to 4, but it was a couple months. That's how long he was in the jungle trying to, and then he came back and he's trying to get acclimated back into the world. So you go and you do your job, and at that time that war was not popular, and so he was a hero, but he wasn't considered a hero or treated like a hero. But my dad is hard, so I call him, and if any parent knows, because I'm the same way, he was like a killer whale swimming with sharks. And what I mean by that is, when you're young, you're vulnerable. Your mind is not fully developed, and there are all kinds of sharks around. And these sharks are trying to pull you one way or another, just eat you. They want to eat you alive. The world is not a good place a lot of times. So a killer whale is big enough to fend off the sharks. There's reports of sharks eating killer whales, but there's no reports of them really killing them. So they don't know if the killer whale died or what happened. But I digress. So my dad is like a killer whale with us. He's this combat vet who's got back, who now he has a family, and he loves his family. That is his whole purpose in life. And when you're young, you don't appreciate that, and you don't really fully embrace that. Once you get older, you start to develop that. But anyway, I was a very rambunctious, hyper, bad child. There's no other way to put it. I was a thief. I was a fighter. I was everything you wanted to be. That was not good. But I also love my family, and I would do anything for them. So that's how I was raised. You take up for your sister. You take up for your brother. That's what a man was supposed to be. So the Sharks came in because I grew up in my little community and in my family. Half of them are gangsters. Half of them are gangsters and trying to make a dollar, and they love their family too, but half of them are gangsters. And the other half are doctors and lawyers and things like that. So it's the best of both worlds for me, because I can learn from this side and I can learn from this side. Well, I thought I wanted to go to the other side of the family. That's what I was drawn to, because that's what my uncles and everyone did out where I lived. My uncles, my aunts, a lot of people were hustlers. And this was the year that Nintendo came out. And I don't know if you know about Nintendo. I'm sure everybody does. They have the little console out there you can plug into a USB and play games. But for us, I think it came with like 2 games. And there was a department store called Hills. And at that time, Hills, there was Walmart was just starting, and Kmart. And they all left these video games on this shelf. And you could, if it wasn't behind a glass, you could just go pick it up like you would a pack of gum. Well, I decided I wanted a game. And I didn't have any money, because we were not blessed with monetary gifts. We were poor. We didn't think we were poor. Well, I didn't think we were. I knew we were poor, but I didn't think we were as poor as what we were. Anyway, I took this game. I'm trying to go out with it, and I got stopped, of course. Go to the back. They call the police, all that stuff. So I got drug tested. They asked me some questions and things, and then they released me to my mom. So I must have been, it was 12 or 13. And I'm fighting. I'm out here just wreaking havoc. I was acting out in school. And that little stealing part wasn't the worst part. We'll get into all of this. We got plenty of Tuesdays. But what my dad did was he actually saved my life without me knowing he was saving my life. And they said, "What are you going to do with this boy?" And so he said, "Oh, okay. You want to be hard, huh? You want to be a gangster? You want to go to prison? That's where you're going to end up if you keep doing this. And if your parents told you that and you're acting up, or anybody who has just acted up and knows this, you know what I'm talking about. From the 80s to 90s. So what they decided to do, what my dad decided to do was, he said, okay, it was summertime. I think we weren't even a week into school letting out. And all right, for the rest of the summer, you wanna be a gangster? Here we go. You're gonna stay in your room. There's not gonna be any TV. You can come out once a day for exercise and a shower, and once a day to eat, and then you go back in your room. You can read as many books as you want to. Then we're going to do this the whole summer. Maybe that'll teach you to not be a thief. damn. If you tried to get away with that today, that would be considered child abuse. You get some type of children's services, something called on you. But like I said, my dad was hard. He knew what he was doing, even though everybody else kind of was like, "Oh, you can't do that. You shouldn't do that." No, he should have. I was bad. I mean, I was really, really bad. So I did that the whole summer. Well, what I learned was that I like that. I'm a Cancer male, and I like being by myself. So I enjoyed the solitude. And what they did was they got me some encyclopedias. They bring me books. And I would read those. So me and my brother shared a room. My brother would hop off the bed in the morning. He stretched. "Oh, what are you doing today?" "Oh, you can't do shit. You're staying in." Yeah, okay, I got you. I'm gonna get you back. And after I read the whole encyclopedia, I read a couple like books like Sounder, Where the Red Fern Grows. I read a bunch of books. I did push-ups, I did sit-ups, I did everything. So it deterred me in a way. I never stole again. Now that part, that stopped. I didn't steal again. But I did because the life expectancy in the 80s and 90s for a teenage boy, a black male, was 18 to 21. If you were lucky, you made it to 24. There weren't a lot of opportunities. I lived in the South in the country. Almost everybody looked down on you, especially if you were poor. There were no cell phones. There was nothing like that. So you either did sports, which my parents wouldn't let me do football and stuff, but they would let me do boxing and karate. So I was always fighting. And I was always fighting with my cousins, and we were always getting better. Which is why I have this on. I'm going to get my butt kicked tonight. So, was my dad cruel? No. He was trying to teach me a lesson. He was being a killer whale. Trying to shield me from these sharks that I later really learned about and came to appreciate him. And my dad believes in something. He's always believed in God. He's always believed in his family. And he's always believed in doing right. And that's why I started off this week with 10 toes down. My dad has always stood 10 toes down. So now, put in the comments if you think he was wrong or not. I mean, we'll get into the stories. You're gonna be like, yeah, he was bad. One thing, we're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna wrap this up because I gotta get here. If you guys watched, and I'm just now realizing this, I don't know why it didn't click with me before in my last story. On one of my thumbnails, there's my truck, and it talks about Willie and my Uncle Willie, another 10 toes down guy. But my Uncle Willie always wore coveralls. I always saw him in like overalls, coveralls. Where did he get the belt from? I didn't even know the coveralls had belt loops. Where did he got this belt to whip this grown man? Where did he get that belt from? So that's my first realization today when I was thinking about this. Anyway, next week we can either get into my brother, and that title will be something like snake biting an apple. We can do another one about I forgot one part. So, and forgive me, like I said, there's no edits. When every night when I was in my room, and he'd come by and he'd check on me like when he was home every hour, just like or every couple hours like a guard would do. But at night, he would come by and say, "Night, night, keep your butthole tight." Like, what? Man, what does that mean? And he's like, you want to mess around, there's bigger people than you. So next week, snake biting an apple, selling fruit, or there's one that I've been wanting to tell about, cutting grass. So you guys let me know in the comments. I know this one was kind of lengthy. I appreciate everybody. I see I have 3 more subscribers. I appreciate you guys. Please keep watching. Stuff is only going to get better. The reason why I do the no edits, no cuts is because you can only get better by talking. And when you continuously talk and put things together and go back and watch it, you can stop certain traits that you're doing live. And then you're able to talk better to someone else without it being scripted. So it helps in all aspects of life. But I love you guys. I hope you have a good evening. I'm about to go get the holy hell kicked out of me in BJJ tonight. And with that, as my dad would say, night, night, keep your butthole tight.